edge to it.
When you get to competitive individuals like Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, there's always going to be a feud.
I don't think they've a chance against us. I don't think they've a chance.
But that's the rivalry. Managers push each other, players push each other.
They didn't see eye to eye, and they really hated each other.
It felt like he was going to war.
I didn't like any of their plays.
You had to have somebody to complain about. Arsenal, 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 Wenger.
Squeeze the area, Nicky! Squeeze the outside in!
Desire was always a big thing for Alex Ferguson. You know, when you'd won a league, when you'd won 2 leagues, and if you felt you came back the next season not hungry and ready to go again, and have that desire and fire in your belly to start all over again, you were gone.
Give him an angle, give him an angle!
The manager was there every day. Every day. I can't remember how many days I didn't see him at the training ground.
It was more than going seeing your headmaster. It was more than being told that it was. You was in the presence of someone that was intense, that was driven, and it was scary, to be honest with them.
You know he's like, you try and bully, give it a big time, Charlie, but you get fucking wired right into him. He's fucking full of shit, you know that. I mean, he's going on the paper wanting respect for your fans and that. He'll fucking get it, alright. Plenty of that.
I've never actually spoken a word to him. I spent 22 years as a pro and 15 years at Arsenal. He shouted a few things at me, and I'm sure I've shouted a few things back, but I was scared of him.
Some of the passing is fucking scratchy. Get the passing fluid. Take a touch on the ball.
I think he was Jekyll and Hyde, Sir Alex, at times. I mean, yes, he could be confrontational. He could be somewhat belligerent if he didn't like the question, or he didn't suffer fools gladly, I can assure you of that. Now, I had one famous row with him on Match of the Day when I asked him about Roy Keane's disciplinary record. Is the Roy Keane situation one that you'll have to address?
Right, John, you've no right to ask that question. You're out of order. You know fine well my rowing and that, right? That's the interview finished. I'm not on that one. I'm going to cancel that interview, right? The whole fucking watch it. Cancel it.
Well, I was asked to ask it, Alec.
You're fucking organ it again, right? You fucking know the rules here.
And he stormed off. And then didn't do an interview with me for quite some time, although, having said all of that, underneath it all, there is a very charming and intelligent man.
I always found one of the things about Ferguson is that he used emotion very intelligently. He went through the gears. I mean, I ended up just going to Ferguson's press conferences when Manchester United had lost, because that was Ferguson at his best. He would come out and he would blame the referee, he would blame the media, he would blame, you know, the temperature of the tea at half-time, anything to defend his players.
Straightforward, the players don't like the grey strip.
This image of Ferguson, partly because of his dugout stance, partly because of the whole hairdryer reputation, actually ignores what an intelligent, nuanced individual he is. If you went into his office, it was just a treasure trove of a man's life and a man's interest. So on the table there would be a catalogue of art. And there were a couple of cases of very nice wine, pictures on the wall, and his fascination with Laurel and Hardy. If you want a Renaissance man, it's Sir Alex Ferguson. Certainly one of the most interesting people I've met in public life, and one of the most extraordinary leaders this country.
He had the Giggs and the Cantonars and the Steve Bruces and the Brian Robsons. the Scholes and the Keanes, and suddenly you saw a team developing that was going to rule English football, or thought they were, for several years.
All best, Dickie. Good luck, son.
The players were winners, snarling winners, who weren't going to allow anybody else to try to interfere with that.
Right now, get yourself sorted, okay? Come on. No goals! No goals! No easing up, come on now. Listen, don't let yourselves down here now. Don't even fucking attempt it.
Arsene Wenger がグランパス監督に就任したのは去年の春でした。それが結果に出て
皆さんありがとう。グランパスサポーターの言葉忘れません。Thank you very much.
Wenger was initially hardly known in this country, and of course he'd been managing in Japan at Grampus 8, so nobody over here really knew much about this guy, and yet here he was being brought in by Arsenal and ultimately, and not that far ahead, to challenge Alex Ferguson.
There was real curiosity about him, a lot of scepticism about him.
He had a grin on his face the whole time. In fact, I was worried that maybe nice guys don't win things.
Arsene Wenger's been in Japan for a year. He doesn't know anything about English football. He's at the use of a big club, Arsenal. I think he can concentrate on his own job.
Whenever Sir Alex used to start mentioning opposition managers, opposition teams, you knew that they were becoming a threat, and you knew it was the start of that psychological battle.
It was fun from a media perspective because you realised that the rivalry was going to kick off pretty spectacularly.